Thanks, Sean. It is time for our Common Ground segment. Democrats, Republicans coming together on different issues. Joining me tonight, Michigan Republican Congressman John James and North Carolina Democratic Congressman Don Davis. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. I know you work on a number of different things, but the issue we're talking about tonight, electric vehicles and this mandate about the crackdown on tailpipe emissions. You know, we have a write-up that President Biden finalized a crackdown on gas cars, forcing more than half of new car sales to be electric by 2030. Officials said automakers would be forced to ensure 56% of light-duty car sales are battery electric, another 13% are hybrid by 2032. There are real questions about the feasibility of that. Congressman Davis, let me start with you. Are you concerned?
I am concerned, and I would say that we shouldn't go too far, too fast. And I would only imagine putting the trust in Washington, D.C. to ultimately determine the winners and losers. I have great concerns here. Congressman James, what are your thoughts?
Well, the automotive industry is not just responsible for 50% of Michigan's GDP. But all industries in all states rely on the automotive industry to provide a reliable, economical transportation. We all believe in clean air and clean water, but we also must progress and make sure that the federal government is never in a position to remove choice and freedom from the American people. We absolutely must make sure that if you want an EV, get an EV. If you want a hybrid, get a hybrid. If you want a gas-powered vehicle, get a gas-powered vehicle. But these are decisions that should be made by the consumer.
Here's a Republican senator and the transportation secretary on this.
The model is broken because even with big subsidies, only rich people can buy an electric vehicle. And we don't have a grid that can, energize them. We don't have enough transmission. We don't have enough generation.
The number one way that we have supported EVs is by making them more affordable. That's what those tax credits are about. And that's one of the reasons why you've seen the prices get closer and closer to parity.
I guess, Congressman James, the issue is about how feasible it is. You know, we had the infrastructure bill, and $5 billion was allocated for bipartisan effort to create charging stations. Well, of the $5 billion, as of about a month ago, it has resulted in 4 charging stations across the country opening so far. Obviously, there are big plans for things. But again, to Congressman Davis's point, is this getting ahead of things?
I mean, that's $1.25 billion per charging station when we're supposed to have hundreds by now. In places like Iowa, where it got to 40 below zero. In places like Michigan, where we have winters, right? These are not solutions. And what this leaves us open to is a China that is coming up with these vehicles fully subsidized, competing on their strong turf for vehicles that they can sell below what it costs us to make.
Congressman Davis, how are you working on this in the common ground way with Congressman James or others who see the same way? And what do you tell the administration about this? We have automakers scaling back or delaying EV plans. A number of them have kind of rolled back their plans in recent weeks and months.
And of course, there are those who are very supportive and are moving towards EV. However, I'm being clear here. There are others who have great concerns, just like I have, and that we've already heard, charging stations. We're just not there on the infrastructure.
This is the mandate, the electric trucks. Wall Street Journal editorial board. Let there be electric trucks. EPA's rule will require electric models to account for 60% of new urban delivery trucks, 25% of long-haul tractor-trailer sales by 2032. The harm is predictable in return for no climate benefit. Again, this is the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal. Some 1.4 million chargers will have to be installed by 2032 to achieve the EPA's mandate, about 15,000 a month. And the realism there, Congressman James, is really the question.
The realism is extremely in question. When you take a look at the natural resources that would be required to make these batteries in the first place, you're relying on a supply chain that needs critical minerals that we don't have yet because we don't have the regulatory environment in the Biden administration that is permitting more quickly. You have unreliable supply chains, which could cause food shortages, chip shortages on levels when you don't have these deliveries, on top of the fact that these are heavier trucks. Okay, you say that you want to scale back the impact on the environment. Well, what's going to happen when you have have heavier trucks that are on the road. You're going to require more trucks to carry the same payload. And so you're going to have more trucks damaging the road and having more of a demand on our grid system, which is going to make worse our climate issues. It is not based in reality. And somebody needs to come to common sense, which is why we are working across the aisle to push back on this administration to say enough is enough.
Last thing, Congressman Davis, when you talk to other colleagues on your side of the aisle who are pushing for this and are siding with the administration,
we know that the United States has a goal of 50% all new electric vehicles by 2030. Move away from the all electric vehicle future is to destroy our planet.
what do they say?
I mean, obviously, there's a greater concern about the environment, and we get that. But again, I come also from an academic background, and sometimes we can talk all day about theory, but theory may not always align with what's practical and what's taking place on the ground.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, we appreciate the time. This is a conversation that clearly is going to last for a long, long time as we see this battle play out. Thanks for coming on Common Ground.